Hello and welcome to this video all about one of our favorite subjects here at CoSchedule, and that's how to use a marketing calendar to organize all of your work. Let's get into it. So let's start with what a marketing calendar is. They're essentially anything you use to plan and organize marketing projects, typically either a spreadsheet or an app like CoSchedule's marketing calendar. You may have also heard the terms content calendar or editorial calendar, and while there are some slight differences in how these terms are used, they all mean about the same thing. The only difference is that when we use the term marketing calendar, we're talking about using a calendar to organize all kinds of marketing projects, not just content marketing or editorial projects. No need to worry too much about the definitions though. So, who uses marketing calendars? Based on research from Generato, 69% of companies have some kind of marketing calendar to organize their marketing projects. Nice. But it's important to know that all kinds of content creators and teams use editorial calendars and marketing calendars, from bloggers and solopreneurs all the way up to marketing teams at Fortune 500 companies. If you're doing marketing, you can benefit from using a calendar to keep organized. So, what problems can a marketing calendar solve? One of the biggest problems a marketing calendar can solve for you is organization. Without one, marketing projects have a tendency to become a mess. This is the result of different teams or team members using different tools to manage their projects and tasks, or different aspects of projects being managed in different platforms that can make it really difficult to keep things together. Without a calendar, it's also hard for team members to know what they're responsible for and when it needs to be done. It can also be challenging to quickly show bosses, clients, or other stakeholders what's being worked on and to show what the marketing team is actually getting done. It's always nice to have that proof that you're really getting stuff done. Lastly, without a calendar, it can be tough to strategically plan and organize the execution of marketing projects in advance. But when you start using a marketing calendar, you can start getting better organized. Research we conducted at CoSchedule once showed that marketers who said they were organized were 397% more successful than those who said they struggled to get organized. That's a big number. You can also gain visibility so everyone in your team can see what's being worked on and know when things are due. This helps a ton with preventing fire drills and making it easier to prove marketing's value to stakeholders by showing what you're getting done. And you'll be more successful as a result of being better organized and more able to plan marketing strategically. That's because you'll be able to actually plan and strategize what you're going to do in advance rather than just executing tactics on the fly. You can do that without a calendar, but a calendar makes it much, much easier. So, if you're sold on the idea of using a marketing calendar to help yourself get organized, you'll need to choose a type of calendar. A lot of teams start with spreadsheets because they're free and an easy way to figure out if a calendar can work for you. Software like CoSchedule's marketing calendar can offer a lot more power and automation features and other capabilities that help save a ton of time, but spreadsheets are fine if that's where you want to begin. Next, you'll want to ask a few questions about who in your company will need access to the calendar, what they will need from the calendar, and how will you help them understand the value the calendar can provide. In order to be successful, the team will have to want to use the calendar, so if they can see the benefits of using one, then making process changes will be much easier. Then, having an understanding of how the lean startup loop works and how you can apply it to your marketing calendar can be helpful. You can see the lean startup loop on your screen. Basically, if we look at this graphic, this idea works by taking an idea for a project or piece of content, creating the most basic functional version of that project that you can, measure the results, see what you learn, and repeat based on what you learn. This goes a little bit beyond just using a marketing calendar, but it can be helpful for testing the projects you put on your calendar and tracking what you've tried in the past so you can add more projects and content like your best stuff to your calendar. Now, define your team roles. This can be pretty simple, but it's a good idea to have an understanding what everyone who uses your calendar actually does, just in case you don't know. These don't necessarily need to be formal job titles, but the actual roles or functions they fill. What do these people actually do, and what will their roles be in completing the projects that you're putting into your calendar? That's what you want to know. Then, Develop an idea of what kinds of topical themes your content and marketing will cover. This could also include being aware of what your sales cycles look like throughout the year. For example, if you know your business is more busy at some times of the year, more than others, or if you have topics that are important for you to be the authority on, or if there are certain campaigns you run every year, just make sure you're aware of these things and are prepared to put those into your calendar. Then, generate content and campaign ideas that you can add to your calendar. If you're just starting out, then start small and add just one project or piece of content to your calendar. Then you can scale up and start adding more projects once you get comfortable, eventually adding every project and all the content you work on into the calendar. On the screen, we have an example of our simple brainstorming process that has worked really well here at CoSchedule. Basically, you take 10 minutes, come up with a ton of ideas. You take the next 10 minutes and rate each idea on a scale of 1 to 3, 1 being poor, 2 okay, and 3 are your best ideas. And then you'll go through your 3s, put them into your calendar, go through your 2s, maybe add them to your idea log, and ditch the 1s. And that's just a really good way to come up with a ton of content really fast, and you can start adding that to your calendar right away. One last tip as you're adding projects to your calendar is to prioritize content and marketing projects that are closest to helping your business generate revenue. This can help keep you focused on your most important projects. There's more to using a marketing calendar, but this covers all the basics you need to know in order to get started. There are a lot of ways you can organize your calendar, but at this point, you're ready to begin using the calendar to get organized and be more successful. Finally, we want to leave you with this quote from Content Marketing Institute founder Joel Paluzzi, who's a very smart guy. Without a marketing calendar, content doesn't get done. And ultimately, getting more work done that drives real results, proving your value, and keeping your team happy are what it's all about. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Go out and plan some marketing.